All right, everybody. On this episode, we are going to be talking all things paranormal, Bigfoot, and more with the guys from OutKast Paranormal. James Brost, Stacy Brown Jr., and Ryan Golembeske. This is a Florida-based think tank of paranormal researchers led by Stacy Brown, a renowned Skunk Ape investigator, and joined by Ryan, a fellow Bigfoot and cryptid content producer from Finding Bigfoot and Expedition Bigfoot, and James, who's a paranormal headhunter and podcast innovator. They have combined to create a docu-series on the combination of UFOs, ghosts, and Bigfoot. That all take place all across the United States. OutKast Paranormal starts right now. Welcome to the Three Beards podcast. My name's Craig, along with Austin and Chris.
Passed to a new generation of Americans born in this century.
Let me out.
I'm afraid that is why I need you.
Then live to send the innocent to their death? Is this justice and honor in Massachusetts colony?
All right, Chris is here this time. Austin's busy this time, so we're just swapping beards here. That's, So, how was Mason's practice? Did he get a lot done?
Yeah.
A little rainy.
Just a little wet.
Yeah,
Work hard.
I bet. Yeah, no. But at this time, let's bring on the guys from OutKast Paranormal, James, Stacy, and Ryan RPG. Did I get your last name correct? Ryan?
You mean mine? The one you slaughtered? Yeah. Golembeske?
Did you say shit for brains? Yeah.
No, I thought, because I said Golembeske. Didn't I say that? Did I say that correct?
I thought you said it correct.
Yeah, you might be the first person ever, so congratulations.
For years,
Okay,
I thought it was like, I don't even know. I couldn't even pronounce it. I was
What's
like,
coming?
leaving the P coming, or the B out. I couldn't. I fucked your name up for years, dude. I'm sorry.
Good. In grade school, they used to call me Golden Breastfeed, and I used to cry. I used to get pissed. I used to fight.
Golden
and then eventually, I was Golden Breastfeed. So, you're pissed for like you're fighting everyone. And then one day I just said, yeah, you know what? I'm the nectar of the fucking gods. And then I just enjoyed it. Everyone stopped picking on me. That was it.
Yeah, but mine for the longest time was Craig Asshole. From the Ansel. That was it, or it was Ansel and Gretel. You had all these ones, but you just, and I always joke to Rad, where it's like there's two things that can happen. You go psycho or you embrace it. I mean, there's only two ways to really live through this thing. So and Stacy, I have to think, when I was looking on Instagram thing, I need to know the backstory behind the fact that you're at this, blazing fire there, and that's the time you decide to do the sales pitch. I was absolutely just fascinated with that one. You're just like, just nonchalant about the inferno behind you, and you're like, this is the perfect time to talk about the services I do, and just start rattling them off.
Well, so I get contacted to, like, people will hit me up and be like, yo, will you take me out? And so, like, this weekend I'm doing a public trip, but I offer like the private services. So this guy from Kentucky came down, and we were going out to a spot, and as we were leaving, this camper was pulling in. Right? We go, and we're gone for like 3 hours, come back, and the fire is just starting in this camper, right? And you see this guy running, fucking asshole. He's running across the yard with a bucket of water, like gonna put this out at this time, right?
That's panic.
Yeah, and then halfway he just stops and throws it down. Like, because you got to figure he's 150 yards from the water, you know, and this guy's camper's just burning down, and we're so far in the woods that the fire department never even comes. It's burned out.
My
done
God.
by the time they got there, but they never even came. But turns out, I thought it was a good moment, you know, just because all kinds of shit happens, man. And so you never know. I could see a Bigfoot, could see some drunk that went fishing and left grease on the stove, like hot grease on the stove, and burned his whole fucking camper down while he was fishing. Come back to it.
Oh my God, that's all. I just that was one of the things I just wrote down as I was prepping. I just like, I have to ask him about this thing, because I mean it was just like perfect. It was just, I mean, it was
I
just
know.
that.
I was just like, this is a gift from the gods. I got to do it. And so I just, we started doing selfies. I was like, we're never going to get a fucking shot like this. This is like that little girl meme where she's standing in front of the
smiling in front of the blazing inferno.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was like, hell, let's do it up. So we had smoked some tobacco blends before we pulled up on that. So it also helped with the creativity, you know, and it's just like, it's a really good moment.
So now, James, paranormal headhunter. So are you just going around stealing other paranormal talent, or is it just, or is it literally like it says, the headhunter? You know, you're actually out there, you know, with the investigation. So which one?
Well, by trade, the last 20 years, I've been a headhunter for like the tech industry. And I met Stacy a few years back, and I was that guy that was like sitting on the couch, you know, insatiably watching every documentary, you know, a researcher that didn't do anything but sit and research. And when I met Stacy, I went out to this event we had, and he was taking people out on the boardwalk for a skunk ape hunt. And it must have really sucked for them, because I monopolized all his time and just talked his ear off. And it ended up, you know, he told me, hey, you know, we kept in touch. He was doing a film out here, and I just started putting together some stuff to help produce it, you know, and I didn't even know what you called it. And then moving forward, I find people that are stories I heard 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I know something was really going on, and I research them just like my job, get a relationship with them, track them down, build some rapport. And, you know, we want to tell the stories that haven't been told 100 times or 20 times. We want to get the ones that, you know, whether it's Bigfoot and its habituation or alien and its contactee, but this shit's going on like every day, all day, year in, year out, but no one's really came and done a full-blown story. A lot of these people don't trust film crews. And so I've kind of did the headhunting gig to endear myself to them and build the relationship. And, you know, we've got a few coming up, and I know there'll be a few more. So basically, I apply the same shit I do for work to the paranormal field.
Nice.
And then Ryan, and then you, like I said, Finding Bigfoot and Expedition Bigfoot. I mean, those are some big names. I just, you know, one of the things, like, what got you involved with those projects?
My brother and I were supposed to have a show that should have gone. We were ahead of our time by like 8 years. So we were doing pickups at Spike, Discovery, all these places. And when we did the pickups, we invited on James Bobo Fay, who wasn't a star yet. But he did have Finding Bigfoot was something he was about to do. So both of our shows were kind of going at the same time, and that's how it works out sometimes. His went, mine didn't. And then he was like, RPG, I need you on this show. We need some positive energy on this show. I need you to shoot sunshine up everyone's asses every day on this show, because everyone's a bitch. And I said, wait, you're going to pay me to travel the world with one of my good buddies to look for Bigfoot? And then that was it. And I just always made myself available. I was like that girl obsessed with that one dude, you know? And I was like, when he calls, I'm there. So
my favorite episode still of that Finding Bigfoot is one where he's laying out Bigfoot's favorite foods, and it's Snickers and bacon, and it's all this stuff. And the first thing when I watched it, I'm like, this is just the stuff that he likes, and he just laid it out from craft service and just laid it out on the log. But you know, and I'm like, in a way, I kind of get the point, you know, because Bigfoot's raiding campgrounds and stuff. So this is gonna be, but I just laughed that as he's describing it, you're like, this is pretty much what his breakfast and lunch consisted of, and he's just laying out all the favorite things of Bigfoot. So
one of the greatest things I used to love doing is following him into a restaurant, because this is when he was big, not when he decided, you know what, health is important. This was when he was just a squat, shaved down, walking, and he would just walk by empty tables with plates, just grab the food and eat it all the way over to his table, and then he would just pay for everyone's food too. Dude, he was Buddha. He was the Bigfoot Buddha, or still is, yeah, he was rad. And then anyway, that led me to doing enough time there, meeting a lot of people, being my own kind of paranormal headhunter. It just gave me the opportunity to be on Expedition Bigfoot. And it just led me there, and part luck, part just being friendly, being good, working hard, and all that shit. And I had my shot, and dude, I literally had just gotten back from the Guiana Highlands of South America, looking for the lost city of gold for a month at elevation, eating crazy food, and fine, come home, about to live my dream. My whole body falls apart. And that was it. It took me out, man. Completely destroyed me, because I got a family now. I wanted to be like the man. I was going pro perfectly as I was being a dad. It was beautiful. And whatever, I failed horribly. And I basically took a bunch of time off. And then as I was starting to come back online, I was done crying about it for so goddamn long. That's when Stacy and I started talking again. And that was the start of it, and the reason I love these two fucking knuckleheads is because they're not going to stop. You could put them in a room and there's no way out, and they will tunnel out to get work done. They're kind of amazing at that. And I needed that. I needed to be dragged back into it because I was crybaby. And anyway, so I owe them a lot, and it's just exciting, man. We're doing some crazy, awesome shit, but not to get off track. So anyway, that's how we got here.
Yeah, and I mean, like Stacy, you just you're renowned, Skunk Ape, researcher. I mean, you're here. And I'm a fairly new transplant. Austin and Chris are, born and raised Floridians. I've moved down here from Oregon 4 years ago. So I lived 3 hours away from the original film where it was filmed.
Ooh.
So yeah, so I've been in that area many times. I've never seen Bigfoot. I mean, there's been many times where, when you're out in the woods, you hear stuff, but you don't, it's really hard to attribute whether or not it's elk, because there's elk everywhere. So it's really, when it's dark, it's really hard to attribute what the sound is. Mm-hmm. But there's definitely something that's bigger than a cat, and definitely is making more noise than a bear normally does, just because of it's not that lumbering, like slow walk. It's more of the rapid pace. And so, yeah, you'd hear those things, but I never actually physically saw anything. But it was kind of, we're just smack dab in them, up in that area. So, and I'm a believer in the film. How about you guys? I mean,
don't get Stacy going.
Don't get him
Stacy going. Don't
we
do
need
it.
people to love
we only
us.
got so much time. Don't get him going.
How about this? Before he goes and completely blows your mind, I'll say, I will believe Gimlin. I'll just believe him, because at the end of the day, I'd like to believe my elders are telling the truth, because you finally reached an age in your life where you don't give a fuck. You just tell the truth.
Yeah.
So I'll just leave it there. But then you become friends with someone like Stacy, and you're like, is everything I know a lie? Stacy.
All right. So
here we go.
All right. All right, everybody got the popcorn. Here we go. Ready?
You wind him up and let him go.
Right,
yeah. So let's say, okay, you're wanting to leave something to your family because you're passing away. We're gonna go. I'm gonna write bad check for the camera, which a warrant will be put out. I'm gonna go around and sell the rights, 50% of the rights to the film, to 10 people. Now, I dropped out of high school, but I don't think the math adds up for that. I don't think you can do that. Lost in court on that. And then
call it terminally hypothecation.
So you do. So you go and you go bigfooting, and you not only get the best piece of footage, the first real piece of footage ever, and you blow everybody's mind. But at the same time, you have the one Bigfoot. And I mean this when I say this, because I've spent time in the woods, a lot of time. Like, I don't know many other people that spent more time than I have. I'm not bragging about that. I'm just saying that. The one Bigfoot that walks out in the open. The one Bigfoot that just, oh, hey, I don't really care that you're there. I'm just going to stroll on past you, look at you perfectly, turn and walk away. And that one Bigfoot that just so happened to walk out in the open looks like the picture of the Bigfoot that I drew for the North American Abominable Snowman book that came out 2 years earlier. So there is a lot, and I won't get into all of it. I am going to get into it one day.
Stop. They're going to cry. Stop.
I'm going to get into it.
I'm not going to cry. No,
but I've spoke with Bob. I like Bob. Bob seems genuine. He catches himself up in a few lies, which we can say the same thing. It's like I don't want to make a comparison to Joe Biden, but Joe Biden misspeaks a lot, so I guess he misspeaks too, right?
Yeah.
And he says he never had nothing to do with the camera. He didn't touch the camera. He didn't know about the cameras. He was a horse guy. I have it on tape in an interview in 2010 saying this. The frames right before the Patterson film, okay? The frames show only Roger, right? And then Bob. And they're on their horses, or only Roger, right? So he didn't work the camera, though. So who's the cameraman? Because the cameraman also makes this pan to the top of the trees that's pretty smooth. It's not from a guy that claims that he doesn't know how to operate a camera at all. So either Bob was the cameraman at that point. It wasn't just on sticks because it pans to the trees. And it's a nice pan. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm going to be serious. Like, I'll have a problem nailing that on the first shot. And I do this, let alone somebody coming up in here don't know what the hell they're doing it. So then there's your issue with that. But if we can cast out all of that, if we can throw that all away, then we can believe the footage is real. But why would we do that? It's because we want to believe in Bigfoot. Maybe I know Bigfoot's real. I don't need that footage, right? Yeah. It doesn't mean anything to me. Everything about that footage tells me it's not a Bigfoot. It's like anything else. How are you perceiving it? Like, okay, if that person was named Rick Dyer instead of Roger Patterson and still had all those things where he wrote bad checks, where warrants were put out, did this, that, and the other, and screwed all these people, okay? We wouldn't give Rick the same, leeway that we're giving Roger. And that's... I don't believe in coincidence.
I would agree with you. Like you said, it's like Ryan was worried it was going to crush us, and I'm like, one of the things I call myself a skeptical believer. I mean, I have the thing up here, I want to believe, it's like, it's one of those, but I'm, especially like with paranormal, we'll get into that a little bit too here in a second about what you guys are talking about. The thing for me has always been the biggest thing. I don't like the people that take everything that they find as proof, because that shows a lack of integrity. Because you take researchers like yourself that have been out there. If you have people that claim, I see Bigfoot every single day that I'm walking about, here's proof of this, here's proof of that, then either the guys below me and next to me are some of the worst researchers that have ever been around, because they aren't coming back with thousands of photographs of proof of Bigfoot every single day. You have to look in it. It's one of those, everybody wants to have that film, like you said, that positive proof. Here, I've got the proof. Nobody can deny this.
Well,
but if we don't discount some of the stuff that clearly isn't there, it makes everything else, to somebody who doesn't believe, just discount everything. They're like, yeah, there's, it's crazy. It's just crazy stuff, because they think, a pixelated tree is a Bigfoot, when, you know, it may not have a trained eye, you know, to notice the subtle things. But if every single photograph you have is photo evidence, then you have people that discount, you know, just the entirety of the work as opposed to what you've accomplished.
Well, so ask yourself, just put yourself in this situation, okay? And then ask yourself this question.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You just witnessed a Sasquatch, okay, in 1967. Your buddy just filmed it, okay? You know what you just saw. All right. What in the world would make you sell your rights to the footage for the equivalent of about $120 today? Let's say it was the equivalent to $1,000. Let's just say it was the equivalent to $1,000 today. What would make you sell the rights of your footage like Bob Gimlin did? I mean, are you going to go with the thing? Well, they were harassing my family. You have footage, clear footage of a Sasquatch.
Yeah. No, I agree. It doesn't make sense.
Everybody else can blow me. You know what I mean? It's like, you leave me alone. You're going to talk bad to my wife. Okay, whatever. You have footage of a Sasquatch, and you sold the rights to it. So if you can say you would be in that position and do the same exact thing, then you can say that it's real. The problem is you can't.
No,
Nobody
that's a
can.
great point. I can't argue that point.
I couldn't, and I can't fathom anybody else. Like, I swear to God, dude, if I actually seen Elvis Presley and filmed him and he was talking to me and we knew it was Elvis, I wouldn't sell the rights to the footage.
No, it's like on one of your investigations, it'd be the same thing. You have a full floating apparition, you know, all like Ghostbusters come, you know, sailing down the stairs. I wouldn't imagine that to be the first thing. It's like, all right, guys, let's sell the rights to this thing. It's like, are you kidding? We have a real life Ghostbusters film. I go, we're keeping this thing.
Well, just as a family man, if it really was that horrible, I could understand doing it. You know, especially if you're not a purist and you're not like super into it. You're just helping a buddy out and kind of into it. I can see it happening.
I mean, there's not that much harassment in the world, I would think. I mean, for you to sell it, that could be worth way more. I mean, I don't know.
But
I understand he had the ranch.
Yeah.
You know, he had a business, or he had a living, but still, like, I find it would have to be rough. The harassment would have to be really bad, like death threats. And I don't think you would get that in Yakima, Washington.
Yakima, Washington.
You suck, man.
Yeah, but it was South. It was South Yakima. You don't even know.
Oh, okay, South Side.
South Yakima.
Yeah.
South
Anyway,
Side?
now that everyone's angry at us.
Yakima, Washington. Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yep. That's
Don't play.
It's sad to say. The only reason I know Yakima is from iCarly. So right there. Yakima.
Well, you know, and Craig, to your point, especially now. So I jump into this a few years ago, really, you know, knee deep in it this year, and I start getting stuff. People start sending me stuff, and I got some tracks sent to me of Dog Man, and you know what they were tracks of? A dog.
yeah.
And I had someone sending me like, look, man, do you see it? Do you see the anomaly in front of my security camera? It's like, bro, that's a spider on your security camera. And on and on and on and everything. There's a lunatic fringe. I mean, think about it. The paranormal world is going to attract its larger share of emotionally unstable people, right? So
here we are.
You know,
yeah.
And to try to sift through the fly shit and to find the pepper, they look the same, but you know, it's just a lot of it. And so
I agree.
We're trying to get to where it's like you can never say it's a real deal, but we want to set ourselves up for a chance to really get something real. And so we put a lot of effort into vetting all that. And it's not easy, but you know, there's a lunatic fringe for real, bigger than most any other niche of any hobby you could be into, or
yeah, because just like any other trauma, like for me, like any kind of, you know, when somebody comes up to me, like if one of you three guys came up to me and said, you know, I just saw this, I'm gonna believe you. I mean, it's like you have the right to be believed. You know, it's like I saw this, but it's just to me, when I start requiring more proof, more evidence, is when you tell me you see it constantly. I'm always seeing it on hikes. I'm always seeing the stuff. I go, at this point, I have to see something other than just a pixelated photo. I mean, you should be able to find footprints, broken branch. There should be some physical evidence that is apparent from these sightings. And that's when I start getting these things. I mean, because for me, when we had Mona on, she said she saw something that was like an albino version, a large creature out in the distance. Like I said, I believe her, but she's not claiming she sees it on a daily basis. And so, like, to me, this one warrants, looking into, like, what could this be? We go into these things, but the people that claim, like, I have a family of Bigfoot living in my backyard, and only I can communicate with them. I go, at this point, you should have, as a scientific thing, you should know, what are they eating? What are they using for, how are they, their habitat? What are they using for bedding? What do they do? Like, you should have all this stuff down that you can give without releasing a location if you're trying to keep them safe.
I think the people that have really seen them, for the most part, why would you tell people you have a magical unicorn that every year for 2 weeks passes through and you see them and their kids play in the trees? I wouldn't tell anyone. I'd tell these two knuckleheads, and just so they could come experience it with me, but I wouldn't tell anyone else. No. So I would agree with you. I would we interviewed thousands of people, and when they're coming in spilling it, either that or they never thought about it. Because what happens? What happens when people think it's there? People show up with guns and all sorts of crazy shit. Humans, you're not protecting anybody, So I would agree with you. I think they're full.
Yeah, I talk to people about that too. Like we said with the guns, it's like, what is with this necessity of everybody to shoot? I don't understand this. It's like, you see something on the first thing your instinct is to kill it. It's like, I don't know. How would we study it? Jane Goodall, live with the gorillas for a while. The chimpanzees, go out there with them, and hang out with them. I go, you don't have to kill it. I've learned from it. And but everybody it's like, grab the gun. We're gonna go get ourselves a squatch.
Everybody loves Frankenstein.
I think Oklahoma's thing was brilliant. Their bounty. That was an absolute brilliant marketing thing to bring tourism into the state.
I love it. Like, I wish Florida would adapt the same thing. Unfortunately, science is forcing our hand. They're making us have to kill one. That's the only thing they're going to accept. Yeah. We have tons of tangible evidence. There's been primates, the billy ape, not long ago, that was proven or accepted on less. They actually accepted the proof of that creature on just simply a picture and some tribal reports. But I wish Florida would do it so I could put traps out like that. What I'm doing, now I have to pull special permits. I have a permit to do what I do where I'm at. But I wish there was a yearly thing where I could buy. So when I went to this other place, I could, just not have to worry about, oh man, I can't, they may think I'm baiting up a bear or something like that. So that's a lot of the problems, because you're not supposed to go out and set up gifting stations and, things like that in the, in the wild. But they're not, I know all the Bigfoot community, man, they're just, I don't know. There's a lot of lowbrow in the Bigfoot community, and this was a topic that they were all very lowbrow on. You got to look at it. They're not allowing you to kill it. I know it says a bounty, but you have to trap it alive.
Yep.
What's the problem? What's the worst thing? You're going to trap somebody. Okay, well, the thing still has to be alive. You can't leave your trap out there without going and checking it every day also. That's another thing. It's not just like, hey, I've had this trap set out 6 months. I go about every, 3 weeks to check it out. No, you have to. You put the trap in the woods, you got to check it every day.
You just got some hairy homeless man that just raided Bobo's stash that got caught in the net. And that's what you're dragging in.
Some dude's in there squatting inside your trap, waiting on you to bring back more food. So
yeah,
It wasn't a bad thing. It wasn't, and I wish Florida would adapt that as well.
Florida, so Florida won't allow you to do it?
No.
They won't allow me. Well, they will. I met with the FWC. They said you could kill it because there's no laws. Kill it all day long, but if it comes back as some type of primate or some type of human, which is, he said what he had heard they were, that I would face manslaughter charges to make it look like an accident.
Jeez.
So yeah, it's I mean, but you can't trap. We can't go and set traps out in the woods to catch a man-sized thing. We'll be put under the jail for that.
We left. I took a kid. Well, I'll give a shout out to Connor from Bigfoot Anonymous, and Jack and Tristan and the boys. Shout out to you guys. I took Connor out to Crowley Nature Museum where they have this boardwalk that they're going to repair, but no one's been out there for years. And Stacy's gotten evidence there. So we're out in the pouring rain. I take him out there and we're leaving gifting stuff, right? 2 days later, Good Morning America's out there looking for Brian Laundrie. And they found a banana and a donut. Wow. And they thought, we found Brian. Like, who leaves a banana and a donut out there? So the lady that runs the place, Dixie, texts me a picture. She's like, you guys did leave this, right? I'm like, yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. So,
and that's, oh my God, you guys making national news that we've discovered this thing. It was just you guys outside.
Wow, that's crazy. I did hear about that, but it made news until I guess they retracted it and found out that it was left out there by somebody like you all.
If you heard about that, I didn't hear about it like that. I just saw she sent me a picture and showed them out there. But if
they probably went live. They found the donut. They probably was calling somebody right then, guys.
Probably.
The article said apple and banana left by the lunatic fringe.
Yeah, man.
Remember, I hit you up, Craig, and I said, remember they found something in the woods. If that was them, if that was him, Craig was like, I don't know.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's and Scudder was like, I need more. I can't. I just
either that, and now there's just like raccoons with diabetes out there.
Yeah,
kinds of sweet shit out there. Oh man.
Oh, we got the next thing on the hot button issues. What is your guys' take on the orb? The orbs, because that's the other one. It's like on the other side of the paranormal thing where it's just you have the camp that every little thing that floats in front of the camera is proof, and then you have the other people. It's like, for God's sakes, people, it's a bug. It's dust.
I know RPG's dying to talk a little bit about a theory he has that he's.
It's your turn.
Just real quick, we've got a guy in a southern state that was featured on a show some years back, and the NSA's been out there. The ATIP, Lou Elizondo's been out there. Shows me pictures of him with some NASA people, and he posts and sends me pictures and orbs that are on a night vision camera that are pretty much clear as day, almost daily. And his interview's up on our YouTube channel, a 2-part one, with some pictures of this stuff. When you see that, and then you see dust particles, and you see these other things, again, I'm gonna go with this guy, and hopefully we'll get out there someday and see it for ourselves. But I know RPG's got some other thoughts on the origin of the orbs that he's probably gonna jump with.
Yeah, you guys, they disagree with me mostly on this one. But a few years ago, I decided everything I've ever been taught is a lie. So it's time to rebuild all my information knowledge. So I'm trying to trust more in my gut and my own intuition and my friends, things that feel right, because I know when things feel right. I get, my stomach tickles. When things are gross, my ass fucking vibrates. Like, I got all sorts of weird shit about me. And and my brother does. Take a moment on that one, just the visual.
His ass tickles more than when he gets nervous. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
We had a guy. It's like he said, he takes a fight if his pants move.
Yeah,
so that's kind of like the same thing. It's like, I know it's real when I start feeling it in my pants. It's like, oh, all right, hey, I believe you.
That's what I was about to say, Craig.
Down there, baby. Anyway, my brother has this awesome podcast called Cosmic Cantina, and they interviewed a gentleman named Patrick Jackson, and he's a reverse engineer IT specialist, and he wrote a book called Quantum Paranormal. And I won't go crazy now, but if you guys are into a deep dive, if you're into the lunatic fringe or the woo or whatever you want to call it, I think he's right. I think the Foo Fighters, which they documented, are real, and they're here. It's some kind of a surveillance system, and it's just because think about what our drones can do already. You guys been watching any of those shows where they did the Muerto Dia del Dead and they built a skeleton in the sky, or what Disney's doing with it? You can't even tell anything's there, and then all of a sudden it's crazy.
Just
Anyway,
boom, lights up. Yep.
yeah, but I'm just saying that's where we are with our technology, and they theorize that the government is about 20 years ahead of us technologically. So what's 80 years ahead of them or 6 years ahead of them? I'm just saying it makes sense to me, and it's really resonating with me. And I don't know, growing up Roman Catholic, I was scared to fucking death to meditate, to go in a haunted house, do any of that shit. Because as far as I was concerned, the devil was there and he was waiting.
Oh, yeah, El Diablo.
El Diablo, man, scared the shit out of me. And I'll tell you this, for some reason, when I dialed in on this, that fear all but left. It's still there. I'll have it for the rest of my life. That's the fucked up shit about that kind of conditioning. But it gave me a freedom. And so anyway, that's the quest I'm on, to see if that's part of this. I do some of his experiments and kind of like his ambassador within the group. And hopefully part of what we do is we all find mentors. We all find people that are doing really cool shit that we think might be real. And we ride with them for a while to see if it is or it isn't. And then we move on and hang with other great mentors. So anyway, Quantum Paranormal, check it out. That's my plug. Foo Fighters are real. Orbs are real. We experienced them on our own adventure, which we'll talk about later. And yeah, I think it's a real phenomenon. And I think it's the little, like UFOs, everybody wants the big ship, the big alien, this, because we've been brought up on stupid Hollywood movies. But nature doesn't work like that. And especially things that don't want us to know they're there, it's going to be very, very subtle. So you take all those big things and you get down to these little orbs that are fucking running or doing something with everything. Anyway, deep dive on it. And yeah.
Well, and it's like, all jokes aside, I mean, it's throughout history. I mean, everything from, Native American stories. I mean, there's been, the tales of the orb. You have these things that are, that are out there, that exist. But for me, it's one of those. It's like you'll watch some of these paranormal investigations, and every little thing that floats around is, positive proof that is an orb, that is an actual piece of evidence. And I'm like, it's like, one, if it was this easy to figure this out, this wouldn't be theoretical. We would have more of, this would be an actual science instead of a pseudoscience, this paranormal research. And that's one of the ones where, like, for me, I have to try to get the scientific part of myself to just set that aside, because it's a real weird dichotomy that's going on in here. I mean, it's one of those, I believe, but at the same time, I'm trying to disprove it at the same exact time. It's really struggle. I'm Mulder and Scully at the same exact time. It's really, so it's one of those. And like, James, I mean, what's your take on it? It's just, I mean, do you think that there's more that needs to be discarded, or do you think that there's actually, there's a lot more validity to a lot of these, captures that people, show?
It depends. A couple things. Like I referenced the one gentleman, but he's got, a camera, a good piece of equipment that's a reference point that it's lower than an airplane, but above the tree line, brighter than a drone, and moving in a way that only possibly a drone can move, but then it vanishes. And you get enough repetition of that, and you're like, okay. Plus other images that are, pretty striking, versus dust particles, security cameras, low grade, with insects crawling off of them, as I referenced earlier. But people latch onto it, so you get 1,000 videos online every day that are 99.9% dust particles and orbs, and it really kind of waters down any of the real evidence out there. But I find that people that seem to experience and have captured what I would call valid evidence, they might put it out there, but because there's so much other stuff out there, theirs gets thrown into the same pile. So it really takes a deeper dive into getting to know somebody for 6 months, 8 months, a year, having them communicate with you every week, sending you stuff and some reference points. It's hard to do, but I definitely believe it's real. I know that, and we've experienced somebody that this one gentleman thinks are angelic. He gives examples of how they help him. We've got another guy that he's not so sure. You know, he feels it's interdimensional, but they haven't really been giving him the warm fuzzies. You know, it cost him his marriage. We interviewed the ex-wife, and they're clearly still in love. And she's saying, whatever this is, it doesn't want me with him. Doesn't want him with any female. And the adult children. And we spent 2 nights there, you know, and experienced some stuff too. So for me, it's just getting out there. I'm a skeptic that believes. I'm skeptical of most of the stuff that I see. I want to go see it. I want to go experience it. And
maybe you guys can answer this question, because this is one of the biggest ones. And you know, Ryan, you've been part of, you know, television shows, so you're going to understand. You know, you'll have kind of the behind the scenes a little bit on this one too. When you go on an investigation, why don't you take every single piece of equipment that's at your disposal? Why is it just creative editing throughout the stuff? Because it doesn't matter if you're watching, you know, whether it's Finding Bigfoot or Ghost Adventures, whatever you're watching, is just, you see all this equipment, and then you know, when you have that kind of budget, there should be hundreds of infrared cameras, you know, light grids. You should have this everywhere, because the whole point is to capture evidence. And it's like, why aren't they doing this? Like Bigfoot shows, why isn't there infrared cameras everywhere? Drones, everything, shooting this stuff.
The only thing I can tell you is you obviously haven't worked in TV, because there's no budget for that shit. Nothing. Yeah, I know. They want you to do it on nothing. If I was to bring Stacy on, I'd want him to bring his own equipment if I could get him to do it. It's bare bones, and at the end of the day, remember, you know, you have this pyramid structure of people above you. Most of them probably think it's the dumbest thing ever. You know, they have no interest in it. It's anything. It's just a moneymaker. It's just a show. We don't.
Nothing on them shows are real. I hate to break that to you.
Oh no, that's.
Well, it depends on the definition of real, but yeah. I'm just saying it's very low budget. They don't care, and they do not believe you're going to find anything. So,
and that's where I really like, as we've been doing this thing, like, you know, you guys, you know, Chasing Paranormal, we get with just the ones that are doing the work, because you guys are bringing your equipment. Because I like the ones that's their point. You know, the point is you want to find the evidence. It's not about the clicks. It's not like, what can we do to make the sensationalist thing? Well, this is going to make us go viral. It's about finding, you know, you want the proof. You know, that's the basis of it. You know, that's what I like.
I mean, look, think about RPG.
That wasn't authentic.
Think about RPG and Stacy both. You know, before I knew them, I saw them, and they were exposed at different levels. You know, RPG producing TV shows around the subject. Stacy, just like you said, out in the woods more than anybody doing this. He was a go-to for finding Bigfoot in Florida. He's been on these other shows. He won the Spike Bigfoot. What was it called? The Spike Bigfoot Bounty or whatever.
Bigfoot Bounty, stupid.
Yeah, he won it. He popped up on a show that about 6 months ago. I said, check him out on this show. He's like, I'm on that one. I didn't even know. But both walk away going, yeah, we don't want to do it like that. Right. And I know not a lot of, like, if I didn't know, I'd believe everything I saw. And so, you know, we get a chance to work with some people that are like, yeah, dude, been on that side of the camera, been on that side of the fence. I want to be in this side of the fence. So, you know. Well,
so from like a talent standpoint, they'll have a producer, somebody like RPG, come and ask you to say something. At time, I've been in that situation. You know, there's always they want to make sure they're going to have something, and that's the good thing about what we've made, because you don't have to fake stuff, you don't have to script stuff to make entertaining investigations, because people want to watch this stuff, and quite frankly, we want to do this stuff. We're filmmakers, and the whole process of creating this thing, this edit, has been like it's excruciating. You know,
you love it.
But at the end of the day, like when we're sitting here watching it, we're talking about it, and it's just as good as these other shows. Like when you see it, you're gonna be like, "Wow, I didn't think these guys could make something like that."
Not with
Yeah,
James.
I believe it.
And trust me, sitting from being I'm someone of no consequence, right? I'm the armchair quarterback that jumped into the middle of this thing, and I'm thinking when we film in January, these guys will whip one out in 2 months, right? And then I'm looking at watching the dialogue back and forth between these two, saying, this asshole wants me to cut it down this way. I'm saying, and it's cuts, and then, well, wait a minute. We've got to do recreations. We got to do some After Effects. We got to do transitions. We got to send it to do. We got to get it colorized. We got to do a sound score. So I know a lot of the stuff you see online where you've got people out in the woods that are just doing their little paranormal thing. That's cool, but they're producing the films the way they're actually produced from a network, but doing it ourselves. So I didn't realize how much went into it, is what I'll say.
Yeah, there is quite a bit. I mean, it's a lot of people think it's just you go take a camera out there, put it on there, and it's everything is done. It's just, I mean, I caught a glimpse this last season of Ghost Adventures. I was catching one, and it was immediate glaring. I saw it. That was a retake. It showed up because Zach did a thing. It's you could see, oh my God, that is amazing. You could tell it's just he's really horrible at doing a retake. And it stuck out because it was just like he's not good at acting. He's good at in the moment, like doing the stuff. But when it comes to like, all right, cut, now let's do it again. Let's take it again as you're seeing it now, ready, go. It's like he can't do it. And so I was like, it really stuck out. I'm like, oh my God, I'm stuck doing the show. It's like help me peel back those, like you said, is the blinders that used to be on that, oh my God, this is so amazing. And then you're like, I'm starting to question this.
Well, see, that's the thing about ours. You won't get no retakes. You'll get F-bombs and there's cigarettes being smoked. So it's like Ghost Adventures rated R, right?
Yeah.
But it's all real. It's all legit. If we don't find nothing on that one experiment that we do, it is what it is. But you got to see the process and how it goes down. And I think once it's out, I think people will start copying this because all the shows are kind of the same format and we kind of reinvented the wheel. And there's been this process, just this thought process, and having somebody like RPG in that change it. Cause I'm used to making films and he's used to making TV. So I think we beautifully molded the two.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just picturing you just like you get scratched and then you're threatening to put the cigarette out on the ghost. He does it again. You do that to me again. God damn it. I'm going to put this thing out on you.
Listen, we're at a place where the guy that had all these experiences and has them, he was sleeping with, he bought tasers and he'd tase himself. So if these things came at night, he could wake himself up, and he's Rambo. Make no mistake. This dude is Rambo. And he said the tasers started to stop losing their effect after a while.
Oh my God.
And then he said, whatever these things are, they disabled them. Like a day later, the tasers wouldn't work. So I would love to get a shot of that, but I think the tasers aren't going to work in this case.
And I don't know. Austin might have to bring it up in here. I was going to try to do. I was going to try to bring this up and see if we could get this to, because I don't know if the audio is going to come up, on this or not.
Oh, nice.
Because it's.
Well, the audio.
Yeah, I don't know if I've got audio, but this is that one for the ghost dog. And I wanted to show people just kind of, you see, it's like, I really like the way you guys did your logo and the way you guys did the editing. It's like, you have to go and see this, but just your intro to it is like really cool, that pan. So who came up with the logos and the images?
I came up with the intro and the font. Stacy drew the logo. That's Stacy's doll, Hodgepodge.
No, that's cool. So now what is, without the audio, what is your guys' theory on this?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one because the story behind it, we knew the person, Stacy knew the person, and they'd lost the dog, and then the dogs are baying around, and there's an image in there that looks like a clear dog apparition. So it's interesting, right? But with lower grade cameras, it's hard to tell, like with lighting, like lens, that's not lens flare, but I can't say what that is for sure.
Yeah, this
is he trying to get back in?
I think he is. He hasn't popped. I haven't seen him pop in yet. So we'll just we'll just keep rolling. But yeah, so. Would you guys have plans to get to locations like Skinwalker Ranch? And there he is. He's back.
Oh yeah, dude, that's the paranormal headhunter to the stars. James Brost is gonna get us everywhere. If Stacy or I don't already know him, James is gonna get us in. I'm telling you, the guy's unbelievable.
And that was what, like, where I was talking about. It's like, here you have Brandon Fogel. He's got money. So, I mean, the money is not, it's not like budgets are tight. It's like, when he's doing these evidence, it's like, why don't they have gear everywhere? There should be thousands of cameras all across that ranch capturing any and everything from any possible angle that you could think of. And I'm like, and they've got two guys, and they've got the weird security guard. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I've been out hunting before, and I haven't carried that kind of armament around, and I'm walking out in the middle of nowhere. And here he is with the camera crews. He's acted like they're under a constant threat of, military incursion. I'm like, I don't understand this. It's like walking around, just a normal thing. Let's go over the evidence. Shotgun.
my favorite part of the whole thing is the astrophysicist, what's his name, Travis.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the spectrum analyzer's going nuts. The gamma ray detector's going nuts.
Yeah.
Take after take of that.
Yeah, it's the one, like the ranch, when they had the water mystery, like where the water was going, they like dug down and they're like, well, we don't know where it went, and then they just went away. It just like the show just. And I looked at my wife as we're watching this. I'm like, I think they probably did this scene. They probably tested it, and the audience was so bored they just didn't continue with the storyline, because they just you never talked about it again. I mean, I want to know where thousands of gallons of water just suddenly disappeared to, and they just like dug for a little bit, and they're like, well, we can't see anything. All right, let's go over here to this building. And you're like, but let's find out where the water went. Fill it up again.
The one thing I was watching the show, he's out there walking around with this gamma ray detector in the middle of a field, and he comments, hey, the baseline's 5 and it shot up to 22. Well, with this guy's house that we were investigating, I left a gamma ray detector in his room.
Same one.
Yeah. And he was a baseline of 15 to 18 in his house. He was sending me pictures, right, of the highest level was 30, then 40, then the next month 50, then 60. So that's actually above 50. If you look at the chart it gives you, that's a dangerous burst of radiation in his bedroom. And he's talking about portals opening up in his bedroom with a lot of crazy pictures, among other things. But then we've got some tangible, a radiation burst in the dude's bedroom. So we're actually going back to that place.
Because what's your theory on that? Because that's one of the things I've always, because people, I like the people that claim it's like, well, this isn't possible. This isn't true. I'm a believer in that aspect of where, whatever meter you have on there, it's going to have a base reading no matter what. I mean, you can go around and show there's nothing spiking this thing, and then all of a sudden the needle just starts going nuts. Well, there has to be a reason for this. It's not suddenly that somebody flipped on a switch and now there's power. The power was there the entire time. So what changed? Why is it freaking out? That gamma, what is this? There has to be a reason for the spike. If you're looking around and it's just his room, then you have to ask yourself why. That's where I said I love the why questions, because that's what drives you. It's like narrow in on that, and once you can keep throwing away the noise, you can keep focusing on what is the actual thing, and that's what makes the investigation so cool, so awesome. When you do these things, like watching you guys do this stuff, is because people like yourself you're focusing on not the flare or the exciting stuff. You're going for what is real, not what's not.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's enough. It's easy. It's easy to walk away from it. Have him send you pictures like that, and you're having a day where you're dealing with some shit at work or whatever, and you see it, and you're like, whatever. But if you really look at it, it's like, wait a minute. If this was on a show and it was a show playing right now and they saw that, everybody'd be talking about it. He's just sending me this stuff, and I'm like, whatever, man, whatever. And so it's easy to get out of the rabbit hole, go on with your regular life. But when you start looking at tangible stuff, it's like, so what is that? What is that really? I mean, how can I explain it? So, I mean, that's what keeps me going back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's amazing, Stacy. I was just going to comment, like when you fell off, it's Chris that gets booted about this time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not sure what happened. His internet is the one that usually he has to feed the quarters in to keep himself up and running. And
I'm doing good tonight.
I know. I'm shocked.
I forgot to plug my camera up. Like it was plugged into the camera, like it was hooked up and not off of the battery. But the other end wasn't plugged up. It was that tobacco blend that I had while I was setting all my stuff up.
No, you guys just I've got the list here too. I was gonna go over that for people to on your guys' thing as well, so that way they can go through. I mean, one, I need to show your guys' website up there as well. I didn't get to that yet. Everybody can go to OutKastParanormal.com and check that out. And it's got a video that's unavailable, but we got. Yeah, you guys, like I said, just get the latest updates, everything you guys are doing, upcoming events, get newsletter, obviously, all important, go to the shop.
Merchandise.
Right there. Support the guys.
Through the gift shop, please.
Yeah, if you don't look at anything else, just look at that and then buy something.
Yes. That's as much as
believe it or not, paranormal researchers are not rich. We are not.
No. It's amazing how many people think that, when you do these things, that money's just rolling in.
And they can have thousands of cameras everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's one of those, it's amazing how much you realize that this stuff really takes, to actually put these things through. I mean, we know it just from the show. I mean, it's like, it's our budget is minuscule compared to what you guys have to, put forth to do your thing. I mean, I said just the travel expenses alone, is a lot for doing these things. I mean, in one, YouTube, you guys, OutKast Paranormal, you guys are on YouTube. Same thing. We just showed the website, Facebook, got their Instagram. You guys are on there. OutKast Paranormal. It's official is the name on Instagram, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then on TikTok, you guys are on there as well. Same with us. We're sitting at a mighty 81, followers. We're so close to not being there yet. So
get nuts then. Let's get nuts. Hey, you want to know why I go on these adventures? Because I'm sick of being fucking afraid. Like I want to actually step into a haunted house for the first time and have no fear. Like not, I have a healthy amount now, but I'm over that. So what is this really, and why do we do it, man? It's like a rites of passage. It's a grown-up rite of passage. Because every time we come back from an adventure, because I know, especially going with these two, like I think I'm crazy, and then they'll go do something where I'm like, I'm not sure. And he keeps talking about this gentleman. We won't say his name, so I won't go into too many details. But when you sit there with someone and you do mind-expanding hallucinogenics, and he comes back from visiting the doctors that have been tearing him and his family through portals for most of his life, and he talks to them and he asks them, how come you never let me have kids? And they dead straight look him in the face and go, because they would have been gods. I don't know what gets you up and gets you experiment and looking and meet people, but that's some profound, absolutely insanely beautiful shit, because he believes it. I mean, it's like, who cares about the truth just for a second? It's what you believe, what you want to believe. And that's why I would tend to never mind what's right and wrong for a second, just experience it through their eyes. And that's what that dude said to me, man. That's so powerful. And that, so you're going out there to find the good characters and find the good stories. And dude, we got a bunch of them lined up.
Yeah. I mean, if we can get with you guys on this upcoming one that we were talking about, because Austin's going to be the one that's going to be the fun one to watch.
He's gonna drop everything and be out the door. I'm not too scared.
I'm gonna be the one when I say knock. I want knock on this door. I'm gonna be like knocking the door, like, oh, freaking awesome! Thank you. Do it again. Do it. Austin's gonna be the one you're just gonna hear, and he's out the door. He's already gone. Yeah, you're gonna have like, Ozzy, get back here. He's gonna be the one trying to take off. He'll be the rabbit of the group.
And for the viewers that don't know, we're Stacy's lining up a spooky place that he had some experiences with that we wanted to bring. Wouldn't it be cool to have some first time people coming in that maybe, I don't know, were podcasters? So 3 beards will be the virgins that we're going to sacrifice to the paranormal world here coming up once we can line it up.
Lock them in.
That'll be something to look out for your
See if we can't make this go a little more white.
Austin,
What I
but-
figured is we would give you all of our equipment and one of our team members, and then lock you guys in for like 12 hours.
It's
Ooh.
drop proof.
You still
if I
in?
threw it at the wall,
Yeah.
it would still be okay.
No,
No.
they're gonna make you leave a deposit for their
What the
equipment.
fuck was that?
No,
Throwing
I'm
shit.
I'm already game. I think that would just be amazing.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, because that's for me. Like I said, I'm the one biggest, because that's how I'm gonna go. Yeah, I go into it. The whole time I'm just gonna be like, because I've always had this question. It's like when you go to some place, like you see the guys that go to like foreign countries and they ask them in English. I've always it's like, shouldn't you have somebody that speaks the native language? Because they were all German at that time, or they're all French, and you're sitting here asking them like, please tell me what you used to do over here, and you're like, they don't speak English. They were French. And it's like, so you see these, and I'm just, so the whole time I'm just, it'd be one of those things. It's like, hey, could you please move this object? Oh my God, thank you so much. Could you light this? And that's going to be me. I'm just, I'm excited.
Are you gonna be the one yelling, "Show me yourself now"?
No. I'm a big believer in you manifest.
Absolutely.
And so you do not. It's one of those things where we've talked to Joey and Tony Medea, close friends of ours, and I'm a big thing. It's about respect. They used to be living people. I mean, this used to be grandmas, grandpas, dads, brothers, daughters. I mean, and so
If that's true.
yeah, and so and that's the thing. It's just there's going to be some evil entities that are involved, but I think that's through the manifestation. I think that's when those people that do all the provocations, and the rituals. I think that's when you open up those things, and so it's going to be one of those. I'm blessed. I mean, I've got an SB7 spirit box. I've got recorders. I just never have taken the time to go on an investigation. So I'm.
Oh, well, just so you know, this is what we're trying to line up with the place. Is we have an occultist in our crew. He knows everything there is to know. He's like a Muskogee Indian medicine man or shaman or something like that. And then he's like a voodoo, whatever. He knows all this stuff. And so he's going to go on the location and liven it up before you guys enter.
Huh.
All right. Well, no slipping ayahuasca in our tea, or something like that. We got
Just
CDLs.
don't drink
We can't
the
lose
tea,
those.
bud. Just don't drink the tea.
Don't take anything from me.
Yeah, like I said, we'd have to limit. Yeah,
It's not a tic tac. It's not a tic tac he's giving you. I promise.
Yeah, it's like, try this brownie. I don't think I should. They warned me.
I'm so hungry.
We'll just give them all Viagra and lock them in the place.
No.
Leave them at it.
Oh.
What happened? We didn't catch any ghosts, but we're a lot closer.
Hey, Craig, real quick, if I could, before I forget, just want to give a shout out to a few people that helped us. And
please do.
us with this. Josh Watson, who beats everybody in here with the beard. You'll have to meet him sometime.
Whatever.
Whatever. He's the Swiss Army knife for us, man, and good dude. Joey also could give you some competition on the beard. Joey Badia, cameraman. Ken Allen is the Muskogee Indian chief, occultist, Catholic priest, and just all around badass.
Italian
Ed
porn
Monge,
star.
who's off somewhere at film school, helped us shoot. Bill Brock, vote is most likely to have the most jobs out of any of us. Bill's a great dude. He's going to be joining us this next week. Paul Sanson was a big help and is, that you guys know each other for a long time. And Emmett Kessler, who's the type of guy that if I left a backpack on a mountaintop and said, bro, It's only 6 miles in the rain. Can you go get it? He'll go get it.
Wow.
I don't know. I hope I didn't miss anybody. And Bigfoot Anonymous, Connor Flynn, Jack, Tristan, you guys are great. So just wanted to give you guys a shout out.
Martin.
Yeah, and everybody needs to make sure they go subscribe to your guys' channels, so and follow you guys too, because like I said, you put lots of stuff up on, everything from TikTok to YouTube. You've got several videos up there right now. I just prior to the show, I subscribed to you guys as well. Make sure that we got that, followed you guys on there. So that was, support you guys, because this is one of those things. I mean, looking forward to it. God, how cool would this be if we could have the 3 scaredy beards on the, on the OutKast Paranormal thing? That'd be fantastic.
So, and I can't. If you gave me put a gun to my head and had me grow a beard, I look like a gay magician. That's it.
Just have a nice little soul patch.
Yeah,
just right. You get the. Yeah, it's not everybody can do it. As I said, I can't. It honestly comes down to genetics. It's really weird. It's like,
How much white trash do you have in you? I have a lot.
I've got, I think it's just mine. Mine's just starting to show up. I'm getting it's going more gray as we go. So it's at that point. Just have to ask the wife if she wants, she wwants more of the salt and pepper, or if she's, if I have to use it just for men to keep it a little darker, so she doesn't feel like I'm so old. I think it's like one of those things. Isn't it distinguished? I don't
You're a man. You can do it any way you want. That's what's nice.
Yeah. But when you said the occultist, I really peeked up at that, because you can see behind me, I have quite the eclectic, everything from tarot to, runes to, so I've got a lot of stuff. So the only thing that these guys will tell you, I am not a fan of Ouija boards.
I just used one 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, those are the ones that I get all weirded out on. So just saying that might be something for, visual. It's like me with a Ouija board, that I might have an Austin moment with that. Sitting here, it's like, going like this, and as it moves, I jet. Yeah. So
nothing happened with the Ouija board, but a lot happened with the EMF meter lights we had next to it. We're asking for, give me 3 lights for yes, give me 2 lights for no, and there's 6 lights on it. And Stacy, what it was like 3 questions in a row. It was either 3 lights or 2 lights for yes, no. So that was pretty interesting.
Now, are you guys a believer in the cat balls?
Yeah, I got some.
I believe they have them.
Yeah, because there's that seems to be one of the latest tools, but there seems to be like a split in whether or not people agree with them. But I'm the same way. It's like we talked about before. How do you have something that's nothing's happened, then all of a sudden it lights up? There's no, you have to be able to explain how these things just, randomly occur. It's just, there's always malfunctions electronically, but for it to be on command is just, the mathematics on that is astronomical, that you could ask, please light that up, and all of a sudden it moves and lights up.
You don't think people with the right amount of intention and focus could possibly make that happen?
Yeah. And that's
like I'm not saying, but I know that there's some people with very unique gifts in the world, and maybe more of us. How does a mother know that their child is in danger all of a sudden, and it's like trying to call? Like maybe when you're really focused, because those C5s, whether you believe that or not, they say they're getting a lot of action. And what are they doing? They're just focused and intently focused. And you said earlier too, you believe in the power of manifestation. You said that. So I think maybe, especially someone who's got a little bit more of a gift, a few near-death experiences, I don't know.
That's a great point.
Might be triggering. But I don't know. I don't know. That's what I hope we can find out and get some proof for it.
Yeah, I'm even more excited. I just need to know. So that's why I said, I'm ready to be a guinea pig.
Dude, you're going to be in a cell with a Ouija board, and the world is going to fall in love with you as you squirm. It's going to be great.
As I said, it's like,
it's going to be you.
Yeah. I just like, I was like, I don't want to just touch the board. No.
And after an hour, it seems like I've been in here an eternity. It's like, no, you got 11 more to go.
Yeah. This is gonna be fun. This is actually gonna be a blast. I said I'm looking forward to it. It's like I'm just picturing you guys doing, like stuff like, always happens to Aaron, where it's just like, hey, this is where the serial killer was, was put to death. Go lock yourself in there. Wait, what? Click, and then just walk off. It's like, guys, just like, oh, yeah, we forgot about him. What's he doing? Just rocking there in the corner with the camera. It just is like, let me out. Yeah, I'm excited. That's make it. Just let us know so we can get that on the book. So
as soon as we get the discussions over with, because we just having a meeting, or it's like you gotta meet me with some of it, because the rules were like no invocations, all the stuff we do, no Ouija boards, and that's not gonna fly. Like, I'm trying to see if the place is haunted. You gotta let me have a free game, a free run at whatever I want to do in here,
yeah.
Because the whole, it's just happy spirits, it's or sad spirits. You don't know that. You know what I mean? We don't know if they're spirits anyways. Something. But so anyways, it will be done soon.
Does that raise a red flag that they don't allow certain things in there for you all?
No, I mean, not for me. It's just some people get stuck in their ways, like the people in the Bigfoot world that believe it's just an ape and they won't hear nothing else. You don't know. I don't know why you won't listen to everything else. Nobody's saying Ouija boards are bad. If what you're trying to do is contact the other side, they might be really good, and that may be why everybody's scared of them. Your intent is what it's going to be, but it was like no opening portals. I'm really big on trying to open portals everywhere I go.
We're going to get so in trouble.
It's kind of like the root. It's kind of like the basis of everything we do.
We just open portals everywhere we go,
As long as you close them. That's the important part.
What's that? What's the reason for that? Like, you want somebody else to come and experience it?
They didn't say nothing about closing them, Craig. They said open
nothing about closing. We went to Mayaca and tried to open a massive portal across the whole city. It's pretty cool.
I'm just picturing Ghostbusters right now. He's building the temple, trying to let everything in. It's just, the pink ooze is flowing down in the sewers. It's just
oh, y'all don't believe Dogman's real? Here he comes.
Yeah,
right through the portal, guys. Right down Main Street.
What's he doing? He's got this whole building wired to create a portal. It's like, oh my god.
There's someone coming with us next week. We're going to an Indian reservation in the Midwest that we're invited to. That's got interaction. I'll just say with something paranormal, and they also have some other paranormal type stories they want us to investigate. And one of the guys that's coming along with us is like, dude, I ain't playing around with Indian spirits and white boys. I don't know, and he's a legit paranormal investigator. So he asked me to ask this guy, we usually would bring Ken for this stuff, but we can only bring a limited amount right now. So I said, hey, do you have like a shaman or something? He's like, no problem. And then he said something like, yeah, the spirits were really uneasy 2 days ago. I'm like, oh, cool. Great. So they're
all riled up for you.
See what happens.
He said a white boy and an Indian.
Yeah, he said, listen, Indian spirits and white boys. I don't know, man.
Yeah. I don't recommend going in a cavalry outfit. I don't recommend that.
Right.
That would not work out well.
A triggering outfit?
Yeah, I don't recommend that. I don't.
Are there any Washington football team here?
Yeah.
Cleveland baseball. MLB.
Oh my God.
Florida State.
Atlanta. MLB.
Well, guys, anything else that you want to plug, before we wrap it up here?
Well, Stacy's got an event 2 days from now down here at Mayaca, kind of Skunk Ape camp outing, Crowley Nature Museum. He's raising funds to help that place out. It's a place we love and go all the time. I think it's sold out though, if I'm not mistaken, for tickets.
There's two left. Well, I had 20 spots. I had two people paying cash, and there's two. So if you wanted to technically buy last two tickets, I would take 22 instead of 20, but it's sold out besides that.
Where's that at?
Mayaca City, down at Crowley Nature Museum. It's something I do annually, kind of to raise money for them, and they give us access to the place. You know, I took Finding Bigfoot there when we were down in Sarasota. RPG had an experience there. I had one while I was with Moneymaker there. The knocks that we heard on that show are legit on that episode. But yeah, it's a really unique place, and it's a nonprofit. You know what I mean? So if the way I see it is that whole place is skunk ape habitat, and if they can't keep the doors open through things like this, events and whatnot, then that land right there will be developed, and all that stuff will be gone. Like the stuff they're building off of, like between 70 and 72 right now, off of Fruitville, it is right down the road from there. They're putting in like thousands of homes, and if that habitat's not protected by people donating and things like that, then it will go. There'll be homes put in there.
Well, yeah, definitely. So it's, when you have stuff like that, just let us know and we'll help promote it for you as well.
Right on.
Yeah,
because we're all based right around Winter Garden.
Crowley Nature Museum. If you go to the site that you put up, go on the link, you can become a member there. That's a big help to them. For real.
Yeah, they got a boardwalk where they're getting it rebuilt, but it goes right through the swamp, and I mean, tons of people have had reports in that park. It's right there by Mayaca River State Park. It's just on the other side of the road. It's basically.
Yep. Nice, yeah, because we're different times. I mean, like I said, we really like the Gulf side too. So we're over in Clearwater, Sarasota. We're over in that area, quite often, to the stuff. So that'd be one of those things. Definitely be a great thing to go check out.
Oh yeah, for real. And then guys, if these guys can not kill each other first, we got a movie coming out.
Hopefully we have the movie coming out in January. On top of that, we got the Great Florida Bigfoot Conference, which is coming up again on the 22nd. So that's going to be huge. Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference. We're going to try and be at all of those to just spread the good word about OutKast and, legit.
Yeah.
So.
And as you guys have stuff come up, just send it our way. We'll share it.
Awesome.
Put it on, like I said, on the group. And your stuff. We'll definitely share it, help promote you guys too. Because as I said, it's one of those, it's one of the big things, like as we've been sitting out here, there's too much of this, fighting, it's mine. It's like, it seems to be really working well with some of the newer people, kind of like ourselves, that seem to have this idea of working together as opposed to, trying to, this staking out turf and this is mine. It's like, I'm just as happy to see you guys succeed as us, because that's the thing. It's just, Amen. Why would you fight? I mean, the whole purpose is to find the evidence and prove it. So why not work together? We might find a piece that you guys hadn't even found before. And when you share it, then all of a sudden it puts the puzzle together, as opposed to, fighting over. It's like, no, I got the key and I'm not sharing it.
Everybody wants to be first.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If they can just accept being second and let me be first, we'll be fine and we'll finish this. So
there you go.
I'm trying to convince them of that.
I will tell you this: they've come up with a theme. We're OutKast. We're pretty much all unconvicted felons, right? So, how do you translate that into a theme and a look? And these guys have done that, actually. So, moving forward, there's going to be this one. It's going to be a trilogy. We've got, for the next 2 years, you're probably going to see something coming out, every 3 months from us. So just get ready.
Just
it'll be great.
Yeah, send those over. Like as you get trailers or you get stuff like that, send those things over and we'll post those up.
Killer.
Get all those things there, because that definitely. But yeah, keep that in mind. It's like, so everybody watch as this stuff comes forward. There's a good chance you're gonna see the three of us, on night vision.
Yeah, we'll drag your ass around Florida.
Yeah, that's good. That's gonna be fun. So it's just one of those, get the popcorn ready. This is gonna be exciting.
Austin's gonna lose his wits.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, we just need a priest. That's all we need. Just a priest.
We got
You guys
one.
bring your own Viagra, though. We're not supplying
Yeah,
that.
we're not supplying that.
Try Viagra and hallucinogenics.
Yeah, that's
RPG will hook you up on that.
yeah. We'll do that. Sky was over here. How do we donate? That's the
Crowley.
Oh my God, Justin, that's awesome. My ex-wife is the Florida Skunk Ape. I can prove it.
If you ever need a good camera guy, he's a great camera guy.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's one of those things. If you ever need somebody that's amazing work on camera, Justin Sims is definitely he is the guy to get a hold of. He does
Florida?
Yeah, he's in Florida. Yeah, he does a lot of stuff.
He's actually in Miami. He's working to be a lead producer. He does a lot of fights. His camera action is really good.
Nice.
Killer. Thank you.
So, all right, guys. Well, like I said, everybody go to support them. They're OutKast Paranormal on Facebook, on Twitter. Go to TikTok, and you can find them on there. Also on Instagram at OutKast Paranormal. Oh, come on! I just had it here. Where's? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, OutKast official, OutKast Paranormal official on Instagram. And then go to outkastparanormal.com, support them there. Go to the merchandise shop and support them that way. And then Sky, that's that one. I can bring that up again. That Crowley. Let's see. That's the Nature Museum. You go to, and I'll bring that up here so everybody can see that again here. And the people that are watching, because we definitely want to support them. So yeah, go right there. It's crowleyfl.org, and it looks like you just go there. I'm not trying to on air. It's not the best time to be searching for stuff, but I'm sure there's right there on the about the membership right there. That's going to be that's give you information on how to support them. So yeah, definitely do that and support them, because I said that'd be an amazing thing. And Scott, you were welcome. So guys, appreciate it. I go for a moment there. It's like, I forgot to respond to him. So I'm glad I checked my email again. So this is a lot of fun. And I go, this would have been terrible if I'd missed this opportunity. So thanks again, guys. Appreciate it. Please send that stuff in. We will get that shared to you and steer you guys your way too. Because I said it's been fun. And we definitely need to have you guys back on as things come out.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us, and we'll see you locked up in a cell soon.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Come into a cell near you.
That's right.
Yep. Gilcrest. Yeah, it's about an hour and a half from us. So yeah, it's not that far. So all right, guys, we'll have it. Everybody, you can go to threebeardspodcast.com. That's who. Check us out. Go to the merchandise shop, or go to redbubble.com, Three Beards Podcast, or patreon.com, Three Beards Podcast, and adopt one of our beards so we don't look so homely. Check us out on social media. Help us break the thousands so we can do live stuff on TikTok. Maybe we'll see if we can get to 1,000 by the time we go on this thing, and then we can live stream myself locked in the cell, as I'm crying for mercy, as I'm locked in there. So that would be interesting. So there's a goal. See if we can do it in that amount of time. But check that out. We are rebroadcast Wednesdays starting at 11 o'clock ish on ERRT radio, courtesy of Ron. Thank you for that. JJ Beard Company puts us on Patriot Radio. Download the Xeno Radio app, and you can listen to us on Thursdays starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So everybody, thanks again. Go follow OutKast Paranormal. Guys, that was a blast. Appreciate it. Like I said, we look forward to getting in touch and, being on the other side of the camera for once. That's going to be a lot of fun. So everybody, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. We've got Chasing Paranormal. We're going to keep the paranormal thing there. And so like I said, we're looking forward to that. And then we're also going to be talking DARPA with Tom Cardos and Michael M. Bowden again. So everybody tune in for those. We will see you next week. Thank you. Good night.